speaking of games, have you ever checked your bank account and wondered where all your money went?
Yes,
No, I do that a lot. Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery, especially that DoorDash. Now, I budget smarter and I save even more. So take control with your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNFL for half off your first year.
We just got a big free agent signing. Miles Turner headed to the Milwaukee Bucks, which means Giannis probably now staying. But we're going to talk about all the free agency stuff in a little bit, but that was a stunner to
crazy.
The show. We're going to start with the Browns, though, and some interesting words from a recent Mary Kay Cabot column regarding one Deshaun Watson. First and foremost, let's bring everyone up to speed on where Deshaun Watson currently stands in his rehab process from his torn Achilles last season. Deshaun is going to start the season on the PUP list, which means at a minimum, he is guaranteed to miss the first 4 weeks of the season. He cannot be activated in weeks 1, 2, 3, or 4. After that, a 5-week window opens for Deshaun to be cleared to practice if, once again, he's cleared by doctors. So after week 4, between weeks 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, Deshaun can start practicing. Once he starts practicing, then there is a 21-day window for the Browns to officially add him to the active roster. So that is the official Deshaun Watson timeline. If the Browns maximize that timeline, Deshaun could, in theory, and it's a big could and a big in theory, return to practice somewhere in late November, early December, if they maximize that timeline. They take the full 5 weeks, they take the full 21 days. However, Mary Kay Cabot spoke to a league source who told Mary Kay that Deshaun could be back on the practice field earlier. If Ant wants to take the quote here, Mary Kay said in her most recent article, quote, one league source said Watson, who was suspended 11 games by the NFL in 2022 after accusations by more than 24 therapists of sexual misconduct, could be ready to practice sometime in October. But it remains to be seen if the Browns would open the window that soon, roughly 9 months post-op. We'll get to the other part of the quote, which is in terms of Deshaun Watson mentoring the young rookie quarterbacks. But real quick, guys, you've torn your Achilles before. You've had lower body injuries. Tyvus, you've dealt with lower body injuries too in the NFL. 9 months, an October window, that'd be a really soon activation by the Browns for a player starting the season on the PUP list. Do you see that being even realistic?
No. There's no reason for it. I mean, that's the thing. Like, the thing is this. Deshaun Watson, I don't think the Cleveland Browns plan on having him on the roster. I give you next season, maybe past that. I don't think he'll continue to be on the roster. So with that being said, the Browns have already told you, Jimmy has already told you it was a mistake. So they're already shifting gears to try to figure out, to pivot who's going to be the next quarterback. I don't see what service it would give you if he comes back and plays this season. That's not doing him no good. That's not doing the Browns no good, because the Browns clearly are moving on. And for him, all you're doing is risking messing it up again. So what's the rush? Just sit there, take the year off. I mean, you've done it multiple times anyway, so just take the year off, get your mind right, and when next year comes around, if the Browns continue to still have you on the roster, you get ready to compete. Maybe preseason comes around, you're still on the roster, show that you can still throw the ball. I think you're doing a decent job right now trying to change the perception or the stigma around your name by still being in the building, still trying to be around guys. And I think somebody will give you an opportunity, maybe on a tryout basis.
G?
Yeah, this is easy money. Listen, let's get real. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Listen, man. This is people trying to keep your name out there. Mm-hmm. This is, hey, let me hear. Hey, you heard about Deshaun? He got a team too. Like, he got people, he got agents, he got different people, and the way this game works. After I saw the collusion story, that's all I needed. Because G. Bush, I felt I was completely vindicated. I was telling y'all about this collusion stuff for years, and it's the Duke and knee jerk. Well, my knee jerks is firmly planted on solid ground right now. And I got stilts on, straightened knees. I said, bro, I tell you, This is all part of the game, man. They told Jimmy, hey, you go out there and you apologize for that Deshaun Watson thing. Go ahead and apologize. He apologized. He said, all right, cool. They was like, cool, we apologize. All right now. Now we understand. Now, hey, Baltimore. Yeah, come on. You might want to go ahead and plea bargain. Deshaun got 11 games. Justin Tucker going to get 10. But how this is going to work is we're going to do this behind closed doors. We don't want the arbiter or anything. Just go ahead and say what you did. You get the 10. Keep it pushing. We don't know no problems. The council already got that together. Now, they done reached out to Deshaun Watson and said, listen, we're not going to get you up out of here. What we're going to do is we'll put some things out, and you mentor, and you get back in rehab and put some positivity and spin it. We'll give you an opportunity. Somebody else in the league will give you a shot. If you do all of the right things as we monitor you, still with the Cleveland Browns. So Deshaun Watson in Cleveland is not going to rock the boat. He's not going to say nothing crazy. He's going to say, yo, this is part of what the league has mandated. I will mentor. Because guess what? I still want to play after that. If he does all of those things correctly, they will give him an opportunity to land somewhere with another 32 members of the council. That's what it's called now. It's not the NFL, it's the council. The council has already met and decided what's going to happen. He's not playing for the Cleveland Browns no more. This is all part of the plan. And this is this is the optics of it. This is just showing, hey, I'm a good soldier. I'm going to try to rehabilitate my image and hopefully get another opportunity to play somewhere else.
I'll address the timeline in 1 second, but I want to make something abundantly clear first. Steve, give me the camera. I'm pulling a Tyvus. Give me the camera. If the Browns make a quarterback change at the end of October and November and go from Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett to Deshaun Watson, instead of Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel, I will pop both blood vessels in my eyes like Bull did 18 months ago when he was complaining about the Cavs not trading for DeJounte Murray. That's how outrageous of a move it would be by the Cleveland Browns organization, coaching staff, front office, ownership group, everyone involved, to go from Flacco and Pickett to Deshaun Watson in a year where you have to figure out whether or not you have a rookie quarterback who can be the captain of your team, the captain of your franchise moving forward. That's first and foremost. I'll put the glasses back on.
There you go.
Okay. For the timeline, you guys are right. Why rush it? Like, what's the point?
I don't get it.
And also, didn't Deshaun re-tear his Achilles?
Yeah.
So 9 months, October, would be a year from the initial tear, or it would be at 12 months from the initial tear, 9 months from the re-tear. Like, what's the point of rushing it? This whole season is about finding out whether or not Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel is the guy moving forward. You know, I hope Deshaun makes a full recovery. I hope when he gets a chance to prove himself on the field again, he is healthy enough to go out there and do so. But what benefit is it to Cleveland to give him this shot this year? So I just don't see the point at all to potentially rushing this along, where it puts him at a higher risk of re-injuring the Achilles, and if he re-tears it again, it's done forever no matter what. Like, you're not coming back from 3 Achilles tears. And I just can't fathom any world where Cleveland, where Stefanski, where Berry, where even Jimmy Haslam at this point, who's come out and said, hey, hand up, my bad, guys, that was a bad deal. I shouldn't have given that. Shouldn't have made that move, or shouldn't have allowed the Browns to facilitate that move, however you want to parse out the blame and whose decision it was to get Deshaun. To where they'd play him now over the 2 rookie quarterbacks they just drafted. It just makes no sense to me.
Come on, Tyvus. They listen.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is if you do activate him, maybe you just want him to have some practice reps.
But who does that benefit?
That's what I'm saying. Like
it benefits him, but
he'd be your scout team QB.
Then great. But that's a practice squad guy. He's not on the 53-man
As far as
roster.
him marching out there on the field, I don't understand why would we do that.
Well, let's get to the second part of what Mary Kay said, because that leads into kind of what you just alluded to. Mary Kay, in that same article, mentioned that Deshaun's taken on a bit of a mentorship role to some of the younger quarterbacks in the quarterback room. This is from that same article. Mary Kay said, quote, in the meantime, sources say Watson has been an awesome teammate inside the quarterback room and meeting rooms, and has been a great cheerleader for the 4 quarterbacks vying for the starting job in Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. He's been especially helpful to the rookies in Gabriel and Sanders, who are working overtime to remain in the starting mix. If you remember, Dillon Gabriel also said during OTAs, when asked about what Deshaun has done and what he's meant to him so far, He said Deshaun stayed after, helped watch film with them, helped kind of teach them some certain things that maybe they wouldn't have picked up on their own. So, G, are you kind of in favor of Deshaun taking on a mentor role now that he's unable to actually practice while he recovers from this Achilles injury?
This is hilarious. For me, when people be talking, I'm gonna just let Tyvis. I defer to him on this because they don't. G. Bush, you be over the top on everything. You just listen. This is par for the course. This is par for the course, man. A lot of times you'll hear people on Twitter, Brown's Twitter, that'll joke and say, "Oh, stay away from massage parlors." You're not a funny guy. You do funny dad jokes. You're not funny. There's people that don't be funny. I'm like, bro, at the end of the day, this is what happens in locker rooms. You get people that are veterans. You get people that pull you aside and teach you anything. This is a note for anybody out there. So a lot of people stagnated in the spot that they from right now. They ain't never gonna move nowhere and do nothing because y'all's mindset is backwards. You can learn something from anybody. A child can say something, and you can pick that up and be like, dang, that was insightful. Mm-hmm. You could get something from your enemy. Sometimes your enemy, your worst enemy, give you some game. Or you can just watch certain people and be like, man, I don't really agree with that person. I don't know about the moral compass, but he did right here X, Y, and Z pertaining to this job. Man, I could learn a lot from that person. And whether we know it or not, Deshaun Watson knows mentally the game of football at a higher level at this point than Dillon, Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders, probably combined. And that's not a knock on their knowledge. It's just to say that he has experience. He's been there. He's done that. And more than anything, he could tell you what not to do.
That's a fact.
He can say, hey, listen, hey, check out what I just did right there. See how I was talking to the media? Or this is how, look, watch out for the media on this case. Watch out for them on this case. Watch out, don't do this. I put myself in this situation. I put myself here, there. Listen, as you get to be more mature and you understand, you can really gain and wrap your mind around certain things and say, listen, you just want to give somebody else an opportunity. There's people in jail right now. I go talk to the prisons all the time. I talk to kids that's in juvenile delinquent centers. I talk to kids that's growing up that may be in schools or whatever. And I'm always talking to them. And the one thing that they always say, there could be some people that's doing life sentences. You know what they say? Hey, I got to make myself, I know I'm not going to get an opportunity to get up out of here. I know I'm not going to get the chance to really do some of the things on the outside, but what I can do is I can really devote my life and have some purpose to show other people, hey, this is what you do, not to do, and then really like mentor people so they can understand. And to be truthful, I'm gonna take it from you because I can see your consequences in real time.
Yeah.
Like it's different coming from somebody that got a regular job or a dude walking the street that don't know the game. Guess what? He worked it, lived it in real time. And Tyvis, I think that happens in locker rooms a lot. People just don't speak about it because that's the code. Like you do stuff in silence, bro.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you know what's going on. You know the situation. You don't really got to speak on that. However, for Deshaun, it worked like this. This is kind of how when I was playing. This is how it worked for me. If you see a young dude or a young player, and you like, you know what? That dude got some talent. Come here. Let me show you something.
Kind of nice.
Come here. Let me show you something. Let me tweak your game a little bit. You know, and I think that's kind of what Deshaun has done when he's seen Dillon and Shedeur. So where it's like, you know what? I see the talent. Like you balling. Like are you doing your thing? Let me take you. Let me show you a couple of things how you could be better. You know, maybe Kevin Stefanski is saying this. Let me break the terminology down to you so you can pick it up faster. This means that. When you hear this is what that means. Like y'all called it this in Colorado or Oregon. This is what we call it here. It's the same thing, but we call it this. Like that's, and on top of that, Deshaun ain't playing right now. So like the only satisfaction that he gets is how can I make an impact on this team if I'm not playing? The best thing to do is to do it through these young guys. If these young guys go out there and ball and take something I said to be successful, that's almost as good as me going out there and making a play. So I think that's what he's doing. He's finding newfound motivation of trying to help this organization or help this team by trying to essentially live through the young guys right now. Because You don't need to tell Kenny Pickett nothing. You don't need to tell Joe Flacco nothing. Those guys got all the experience in the world. But it's hard some days being a rookie, man. When you got that coach on you and you feel like you can't get nothing right, you hit that rookie wall, you need that vet to come help you and get you up out of that spot. I hit it early. I hit it early in Seattle.
And Sherm was
and
your guy.
Sherm and Cam saved my life. Cam, Earl, and Sherm all was like, bro, listen, you need to chill out. You got to do this, this, and that. And it helped me get through those things. And for Deshaun, I think that's what he's doing right now. He's being a good vet.
I go back to, like, what else he's supposed to do. He's out there. I think
just sit there and watch practice all day? No, you got to put your input into it.
I think he understands the circumstances he's in right now. Like, I can't play. I'm not coming back till at earliest late October. Like, let me help these guys. Let me try and give them some wisdom that I've learned over my 6-7 years in the NFL. Even if the last couple of years haven't gone my way, and I don't think Deshaun at the moment when he had been playing trusted his eyes, trusted his feet, trusted his arm. But the mindset and the stuff that he had done previously, I would hope is still there, that he can relate to these young guys. And also I go back to, because I saw a lot of people online being like, I don't want Deshaun anywhere near these guys teaching him anything. Like, I go back to Maurice Claret, who at this point is one of the most successful motivational speakers in the entire country. He's going around all over the country, professional teams, collegiate teams. He's tight with the UConn men's basketball team. Him and Dan Hurley are like this now. He got a ring. Yeah. He talks to Fortune 500 companies. Part of what makes Maurice Claret such a successful, inspirational speaker is he hit rock bottom. And you can learn a lot when you hit rock bottom. And I don't know exactly what Deshaun did or did not learn from his career kind of bottoming out here, hitting rock bottom in Cleveland with all the off-field stuff compiled onto the on-field lack of success. But sometimes you got to hit those levels to be able to learn what it takes to rise out of it.
Yeah.
And once again, I have no idea what Deshaun's telling Dillon and Shedeur. I have no idea. But I have to imagine there's some life advice, good and bad, that he can impart on those guys on top of the football stuff. And if he's not practicing, why not? If those two choose not to listen to him because they're like, I saw what you did in Cleveland, look at those numbers for what you were getting paid, like, I think I'm better than you already and I don't trust you, then that's their choice. But I'd rather have the quarterback be willing to help impart that wisdom than a guy who's standoffish and doesn't want anything to do with the young guys.
The fact of the matter is this. No matter what he is right now, at one point in time,
he was an all-pro quarterback.
He was one of the best quarterbacks.
An all-pro quarterback.
That's crazy.
This man went toe-to-toe with a lot of good quarterbacks back when he was in his prime. And you know who else was watching that?
Those
Shedeur
guys.
and Dillon Gabriel. So all they're going to do is be like, man,
how was
at
Gabriel?
worst, you're going to be like, hey, man, tell me about your time at Houston. Like, what you do, like, blah, 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 blah.
How old's Gabriel? He's 24, right?
Yeah. I think
Which means he was born in 2001-ish, which means in 2017 when Deshaun was a rookie, Dillon was 16-ish.
Yeah.
So when Deshaun was winning championships at Clemson, Dillon was in high school.
Yes.
So you're telling me that, and same with Shedeur. I think Shedeur is 1 year younger, but the time frame still lines up. You tell me those two don't remember the glory days of Deshaun Watson as well? Like, of course they do.
These guys, I'll give an analogy. Sometimes this is the problem with sometimes with fans, and I used to get frustrated about it, but then I just realized it's just part of human nature. Fans don't understand how much more advanced professional athletes are when it comes to knowing and understanding the game than they are.
Yeah.
It's almost like a baby who can't talk, that's gibberish, that's trying to tell a grown person who got to go to work at 8 in the morning that, hey, you should drive slower.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Like that was an example off the top of my head, but it doesn't make sense. Like the knowledge and the vast gap between the athleticism, the conviction, the knowledge, just understanding, just being able to do that and at that level. These are the top 1% at the game, Tyvus. The top one. If you ever touch down on one of them fields and you made it to the league, they are in the top 1% in the general population.
I don't even think it's 1%, by the way.
It's like half of that.
It's half a percent.
It's like 0.5%. It's almost, and then it's like, you had Isaac Newton at one point in time. He was really smart, right? And then they were like, oh, just because Einstein came along and disproved some of the things Newton said, does that mean Isaac Newton's stupid?
Nope.
No. Then after Einstein came around, it was Stephen Hawking. Just because he wasn't Einstein, does that mean Stephen Hawking is trash? No. It means that there's levels to this thing, and right now you can take anything and add that to your game and be able to transform yourself quicker. Like, I don't want to go through the same stuff he did. Deshaun Watson could pull up the tape from last year and be like, listen, I was staring down this receiver. This was the play call. I was supposed to be looking backside. He wasn't even in the route. I thought I could sneak it in here, but that's the reason you can't sneak it in there. And then I can learn from that rather than going out there and having to do the same thing he did. Yeah. Sometimes people don't be understanding how the game works.
The fact of the matter is everybody has their opinion of Deshaun, and this fan base is so upset at how he set back this franchise. You know, he was supposed to be this piece that's going to take us over to the over the top. Yeah. And when everything went down the way it went down, and how last season just crumbled and burned, everybody has this thing where it's like, we done with him. Like, anything with him, I don't even care.
Yeah, I
don't want to see him Cleveland Brown nothing. And people have made their stamp in that to where he's still getting paid, and people are like, well, I'd rather him just stay away. Okay, to do what? Like, he can still teach. Like, I think G is 100% right of all the things that he's saying, that everybody's saying up here. Like, yeah, I could be at home chilling and not doing nothing. Then you'd be mad and like, oh, look, he just collected a check. He doesn't care. So it's always going to be something when it comes to him. But I think he's doing a really good job of doing his rehab and still trying to keep the mind fresh. Just keep the mind around the game, because when your mind, once that mind go, it's done. Just come on and we can pull this chair right here. You can come on this panel and you could be a contributor on the UCSS. But
I've heard of the podcast.
What? You don't want him on the show?
I'd love for Deshaun to come on the show.
See?
That'd be wild.
The first question, what were you thinking when you was